Hello everybody, I'm back in the driver's seat. Those of you who have been following the Range Rover build, this then is what's happening now. I'm Andrew St. Pierre White. Join me as I share my passion for building four-wheel drive trucks and travelling to the remotest parts of the world. These videos are made possible by contributions from Patreons. Join the Patreon family now. So, what's happening is I had it taken through a roadworthy test. It failed. I knew it would. The question was, what was it going to fail on? The failures were the rust at the back.
Starting to get a bit of cancer through the rear crossmember section up in here.
Yeah.
Like it's all repairable, but it's
Yeah.
this side's worse. Up through here.
Oh yeah, that's quite bad. Yeah. The rule is, if the rust is within 100 millimeters of a structural point, like a chassis mount, body mount, then it must be properly sorted, which it was, and we did. John Graber, who did a lot of welding work on the Dream Tourer. This is the work they did up there, the work they did to get rid of the rust on that part of the chassis. It was there and there. They did a really, really nice job too. The loose roof lining, that I expected. The battery clamp, that I expected. Number plate light, I thought I'd fixed it. Obviously stopped working when it was on test. Didn't expect that. Steering passed. Great. Was worried about the steering. It passed that. The lights passed. Seatbelts passed. That was a bit of a surprise. And the guys were pretty fair. You know, they have a rule book and they were sticking to the rule book. And that's fine by me. I'm going to Perth Pro, their new location. And so I can't just drive automatically because I've only been here twice before. So I've just got to remember, this is it here, I'm pretty sure. This is it right here. No, this is not. Ah, here it is. I'm one of these blokes who cannot multitask. Which is crazy, because I can fly an aeroplane. And that is multitasking in a big way. And I'm reasonable at it. Yet, ask me to navigate and talk? No. Alright, so I'm going to try it. Then Rob from ProCam Solutions. You should actually go, if you're on Instagram, go and have a look at Rob's brackets. Rob is this master of bracketry and stuff. And he did a job on the roof lining, which is fixed. I'm pretty sure that'll pass. And I'm now going to Perth Pro, as I said, to get the bits and pieces for the battery. And that's it. Then next week I will go back and put it on over the pits, as they call it. Put it over the pits again. What's going on here then?
Hello, hello.
Yeah, so I'm excited about being able to just drive it around.
We're looking at screens.
And not have the restrictions of, because I have to buy a temporary permit to drive it. And the temporary permits last 48 hours. So I buy one, it's $30. I can drive it for 48 hours, but I can't just drive it. There has to be a purpose for driving it. In other words, the purpose is to do work on it to license it, which is of course what I'm doing. Doesn't that V8 sound nice? I tell you, it's such a yummy engine. So I've got to find a battery clamp bracket, something to tie it down really well. It was something that I actually wanted to do in Victoria before crossing over. I ran out of time, but I got away with it, I guess. Cam now works here. He's their senior sales representative and award-winning salesperson. But I need you to help me out with a clamp and something to put over the positive terminal. Is that for me?
Yeah. Talking about service.
That is really good. So everybody, when you come to Perth Pro, they give you free coffee.
Not all the time, but you can always ask. What are we looking at?
Terminal covers and then battery tray. Well, not
Yeah.
tray, the tie down.
The hold down? Yep. Cool. I know where that's going.
To the battery box.
Yeah.
And save myself about 2 days worth of work. Yes. So there's a fuse at the battery, and there is another fuse in the battery box. So both sides of this heavy cable are fused.
Did that work out alright in here?
Perfect, actually. And the 6 meter was the perfect length.
Oh, awesome.
I know you make them in 8,
Yeah.
but I think 6 is, well,
Cool.
for this, 6 was absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
It allowed me to put the battery box anywhere I wanted in the back.
That's great. We usually make it a little bit longer because, you know,
Yeah, you never know.
not all
Yeah.
vehicles are
Yeah.
the same.
Yeah. So I need a positive battery terminal on here with a cover, and I need a way of clamping that battery down.
Yeah. Okay. Let us get the bracketeer. Yeah.
Are you the bracketeer? Is that your nickname? Is it?
Mix the bracketeer. This is the job description.
I was actually going to do it myself in my garage, and I thought, you know, I've got a permit to drive it today, and I'm just around the corner.
It's a lot
So
easier.
get somebody else to do it. It's far easier.
well.
It's far easier to get somebody else to do it, and they'll do a much better job than I would do it. A battery bracket horror story. My Land Rover Diesel 105 had a dual battery system.
Yeah.
And one day on a rough track I could feel this knocking, and it was something heavy. And I thought, that's got to be a battery. I took out the battery. The battery bracket was held 3 points to one bolt.
Wow.
One through the metal of the car, through a thin plate.
Yeah.
So the whole thing, all its life, was moving. And what had failed is that the wing of the car had torn.
Yeah.
And the bolt had torn, even with a panel washer, only about this big, had torn straight through and ripped the wing.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Because somebody had decided that one bolt in the middle was enough to hold 35 kilogram battery this big.
Yeah, on corrugations.
On corrugations. Ah, new connector. Well done.
Cut that one off.
Ah, excellent.
Crimped the new terminal on there and a new battery light. Cool. Thanks, Mickey.
Thank you. Great.
It's a bit better than before.
Ah, perfect. Absolutely perfect. The people that did the work for me, I thought, well, I didn't want to. It turned out to be a disappointment, so I'm actually very glad that I didn't do any filming there, because they made such a meal of everything. The exhaust pipe took 4 weeks. Why didn't they just take it to an exhaust center and say to them, please run me a brand new exhaust from the manifold all the way to the back. I need a silencer there, I need a silencer there. Why didn't they do that? No, they waited weeks to get one specific silencer that they could put in the middle. The car was parked outside for those almost 2 months. The bill was quite expensive. They said that the shock absorber were put in incorrectly. Well, if you put and these were the rear shocks. Well, if they were put in incorrectly and you corrected them, then why did it fail on the shock absorber mount? After which, when I said you need to fix it, wanted to get spare parts from the UK, which would take 3 weeks. The last thing I've got to do is to tighten the shock absorber where it mounts onto the chassis. It's not a very clever way they've done it. They updated it with later models, but I've just got to stop the movement of that pin and that shock absorber. And I managed to fix it with the help of Dimitri in 10 minutes. I think it's going to be easy, and this is the last thing I have to do, because straight after this I'm taking it for, it'll be its second time over the pits. Here's hoping. So I basically said on this last thing with the shock absorber, I said, you know, never mind, I'll sort it out myself. And then I took over and had a close look at the problem and realized the problem was, I had no idea, it was just a simple problem. Done. Simple as that. $3 washer. I thought it was much more complicated. It wasn't. It passed.
Well done.
Phew. Okay, last thing I have to do is get it licensed, and then we can get on with driving it.
Oh, that's really good news.
Okay, sweetie, I'll see you later.
Love you.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.
So there you go. Done. I used these guys here. I'll give them a mention. They were reasonable. They didn't make up the rules. Some of these places I've heard are really terrible because they just find things that are you know, there is a rule book, and they make up their own rules. These guys were straight down the line. He said to me, I'm not going to add anything to this unnecessarily. Anyway, I did expect it to pass today, and it did. So now, what to do with the Range Rover? Restore it. Trouble is, once I've restored it, it'll be all nice and clean and shiny, and then I won't want to drive it over any rough terrain. I'd like to, well, drive it. Do a trip. How about something really challenging for a 45-year-old car? And I've had an idea, and it is really out there. I sometimes think I'm mad taking on these things. It's just okay. Here I am. I've got to decide whether the chances of success are. Where do I start this? So
what's news? I see you've got a nice Range Rover t-shirt on. Is that telling me something about what I'm expecting?
Yeah. I told Jeremy about this project yesterday, and he laughed for quite a long time.
You know, Andrew's sitting here all the way in Australia, and he's sharing a surprise, really. The giveaways on his t-shirts got his Range Rover. Beautiful picture. I'm waiting for a t-shirt like that, and he's going to share with me now what this project's about. Now, if Jeremy had a good laugh, I'm curious as to what this is going to be about. So, are you going to share the surprise?
Jeremy said...
I've been waiting all weekend, you know that.
Right. Jeremy said to me, you've let this genie out of the bottle, you can't put it back. So, actually it's a fait accompli, but I actually wanted to ask you what you thought first, but it's too late. So I'm going to, and this is absolutely live. Paul does not know anything about it. All right, Paul. Thank you so much for watching. These videos are made possible by contributions from Patreons. Join our Patreon family now.